Hello, my name's Jacob, and during this project I focused on trigger boxing, cutscenes, and audio, and overall level design and layout. Before we begin this video, I want to preface saying we could not rebuild the lighting. I let it, I let it build for an hour and a half, and it did not move whatsoever. It stayed at 0%. So this will stay here. I am sorry, Todd.
And I'm Colleen, and I made the character models. I made all of the little rabbits outside and the robots on the inside, as well as UV texturing, modeling, and animating them.
So I started out this cutscene by implementing it to play as soon as the project begins. Once the project begins, it is going to lead the player in the direction that he's supposed to go and display the natural surroundings of the entire area. So, as I walk forward, I've got a trigger box set here
I've
to
been
play
walking
some
for
audio
hours
that I
and
recorded
still
using
no
Audacity.
sign of it. Wait, what's that up the path?
In Audacity, I corrected the pitch, used some noise reduction, and did the best I could using cuts to make the audio sound as authentic as possible. In the blueprints, I triggered the audio to be played from a trigger box sitting right here, and I set it to only play once, so I can't walk back through and have the audio play again. So, Colleen, would you like to talk about your bouncing bunnies?
Okay, so all of the rabbits here, I made them in Maya modeling, and then UV textured them. I made all the textures in Photoshop with Color Bucket and stuff. And I also rigged them. I had problems with rigging, so they have very simple idle animations. And there's one that's running behind the tree in front of him, I believe.
And then here's your idle. That was the hopping animation. Here's your idle animation. Okay. Also, I'd like to point out I set this woodland noise with the birds chirping and the wind blowing to play throughout this entire level, because even when you're in the upcoming house, I imagined it's so old and decrepit you can still hear the outside noises from it. So another audio cue will play when he approaches the bunny.
Hey, little guy. What brings you
Lagging
here?
a little bit.
Food, probably. I have much more pressing matters to attend to.
Yes. So I began fleshing out a little bit of a story, saying this character is heading to this abandoned warehouse for some odd reason, which will be recognized in a minute. Also, I created the woods in an abandonment sort of feel to reflect on the abandonment of this warehouse. And as I cross this path right here, another trigger box will trigger a cutscene showing off the old robots outside of the building. So the robots have been lying here for years, rusting. That's why they've got this orange coloration that Colleen made. As I was
Looks
saying,
like
I've got this voice line to trigger whenever you walk up to it,
even my
like I
father's
did
machines
for the
couldn't last
bunny
forever.
and before. And I've also got it
Just
set
like
to
you.
only play once. I will link the blueprints down at the bottom of the video. And Colleen, would you like to talk about your rusted robot?
Okay, so the rusted robot here on the ground, it was modeled in Maya as well, just like the rabbits. Custom rigs, but the rigged ones are inside moving. This one on the ground is orange because you wanted it to show it was rusted and worn down, hence it's laying down outside with grass growing on it.
Also, I've got some bunnies scattered about here. More flowers, another robot laying on the ground. The rusted color was a really good idea. And then as you approach the door, I've got another cutscene triggered to play that only plays once, where the door opens. And you hear the garage door sound effects that I also added in. And then the door closes behind you.
Then inside, we show all the robots that I made, along with a few of them displaying different animations. One walking into the wall to the left and falling down. Some of them just wheeling around and movement. The rigs were kind of a problem for me, so I just stuck to simple movement for them because it would have been better if I had something that was pre-rigged. I'm just not really great at rigging myself. But other than that, it was pretty self-sufficient.
As you approach the robot in the center, there is another cutscene that will play using the same techniques as the other. Once this cutscene plays, I've got an audio loop that will play some sci-fi futuristic music as it pans over all the designs of the robots. And it cuts back to the player. So, the way I was able to create all the cutscenes was by promoting each sequence to a variable and inputting that variable into the blueprints, connecting it to a play sequencer connection, and then adding the trigger box to trigger each cutscene. And then I've also got an extra note in there that sets it to only play once each time for audio cues and cutscenes. And then as you walk around the room, you can see all the different robot movements, see all the stuff that has been built, and the music will continue playing on a loop. Alright. Is there anything else you want to say about the robots?
All of the animations that were made, they were in Maya and the game exporter. Whenever I was doing that, that was the easiest way to do it. There was one where it went to Unreal, but the game exporter was very simple with that, where you could just drag and drop them as importations and apply them using the cinematics. That was one of the simpler things to do with the animations.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed.
Thank you.